Welcome amigos to the School of Motion Graphics. My name is CM de la Vega. We have an exciting tutorial today. It's digital graffiti using like a spray can effect to reveal your logos. Now this idea was brought by one of the members of the School of Motion Graphics. He wanted to know how to pull off this effect for his logo. And I know a lot of you amigos have posted on YouTube how to do specific things, specific tutorial requests, and I appreciate it. Please keep it going. And I'm here to, as time permits, to help you guys become a better at motion graphics and a better After Effects artist. So let's get started with this tutorial. Now to create that spray can effect, we're gonna be using Photoshop brushes. And the cool thing about it is you can find a whole bunch of them for free on the internet. Now I did a Google search and I came upon this website, and there's a whole bunch of free brushes that'll give you that graffiti spray can effect. And you can also do another Google search for just Photoshop brushes, because there's so many brushes that you can use. It makes your design elements so much better by using these Photoshop brushes. There's a lot of free stuff on the internet. Now let me show you, let's go to Photoshop. Let me show you how to load these brushes. So we click on the brush tool and we go here. Let's go all the way to the top. Photoshop has built in, it has a whole bunch of brushes, different presets and different brushes for you. And if you click on this little gear icon, you can see all these brushes. These are the ones that come built in inside of Photoshop. Now, if you download one from the internet, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to load brushes, and it's gonna open this specific folder path in your hard drive, in your Windows or Mac, Apple drive, and you're gonna be able to load the brushes. Now, if you downloaded something from the internet, it's probably not gonna be in this folder. So all you have to do is locate where exactly it is on your computer and load it up. What I try to do is any brushes that I download, I try to put it in this folder. So let's say you do that, or you locate the brush that you download, and it's gonna be an ABR file, by the way. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on it and hit load. Now, I'm not gonna hit load because it's already loaded. So let me cancel, and let me show you the brushes that I downloaded. So for example, we have this one, and you can see right here this number means the size of your brush. So it's 2,437 pixels, which is huge. So let's click on it, and let me click here. Clicked it too many times. Let's click once, and that's pretty cool. Let me show you another one. Let's see, another brush, for example, this one. No, let's go back. Let me show you this first one. Now we click on it, and you can say, hey, you know, I want it a little bit darker. All you have to do is, what I do is make another copy and merge the two layers, and it's a little bit darker. Now what I ended up doing is, for this example, the spray can effect, let me show you my layers palette. So I created a solid layer so you can see the different brushes. So let's go one by one. I have the first brush, 01, on one layer, this second one, the third one, the fourth, the fifth. So I create them on different layers, and in this, I save this as a Photoshop file, and I'm gonna import this Photoshop file into After Effects, and I can quickly access any of these different layers. So let's get started with animating these brushes, these spray can. Let's go into After Effects, and let's start by loading the brushes. So this is the Photoshop file, and hit import, and we're gonna import as a composition. You can merge the layer styles into the footage. Now it creates a composition for you, but we don't need it, so let's delete it. All we're interested is the individual brushes. We click on it, we can see each one. And the cool thing is they're ready with a transparent background, which is really important. We don't have to key out the background. And this one, this fill, we can delete it. We don't need this. Okay, so let's import the logo, whatever logo you have. In this case, we're gonna do the School of Motion Graphics logo. Let's create a new composition. Let's make it 1920 by 1080, 23.976, and we can make it 7 seconds long. Hit OK. Now let's bring in our logo, and let's create a new solid. Let's make it gray. Perfect. Let's bring it down. We're making it gray so we can see what we're working on. And now let's go to our brushes. Now, I think there's a, yeah, this one, number 3. We're going to use number 3. Let's bring it in, and we have 4, we have 5, and 6. I think we're going to use 4, and we're going to use 6. Okay. Let's hide these layers. Let's go to brush number 4. We're going to use number 6 first. Now hit S for scale, and we're going to scale it down. And the idea here, amigos, is to cover entirely our logo with these brushes. We're going to cover them entirely, and then we're going to animate them. So hit W so we can rotate it, and hit V so we can grab the position tool, and then we can move it and place it exactly where we want it. Now hit Y, and Y brings up the anchor point. We're going to bring the anchor point here because we're going to animate from right to left. And then on the second one, we're going to go from left to right, and then we're going to go down. So that's the strategy. Bam, bam, bam. Now let's grab the second brush and hit S for scale. We're going to scale it down. And hit Y so we can bring the anchor point all the way over here. Let's hit V on the keyboard, and let's bring it up, and we can hit W to rotate it. Hit V again so we can bring it down. Perfect. And then the last one is this one. So hit S for scale, and let's scale it down to about 47. Let's see, 47. Let's bring it down. Okay. Now what we can do is first let's hide these layers, and let's mask this brush out. We only need the bottom half. We don't need the top half. So let's grab the elliptic tool, mask tool, and let's draw an oval, and let's go to the mask path, hit Control T to bring the transform, and let's move it up. Perfect. And let's feather it out. Let's put about 150 pixels, and let's invert it. So this is what we have for the third last brush. Now the second step is to animate each brush. So what we're going to do is we're going to animate with the scale. So for the first one, let's put a keyframe, and let's go forward, and let's go 5 frames, and put another keyframe, and let's go to the beginning, and this one we're going to make it 0. Actually, it should have been this first one, the number 6. Okay, so let's number 6, put a keyframe, and let's go to frame number 5, put another keyframe, let's go to the beginning, and let's make it 0. Let's hide the other layers. So let's see what's going on. Okay, it's gonna animate, cool. So let's grab this keyframe, and if you hit Shift F9 on the keyboard or you right click, you're gonna get Easy Ease In. Perfect. And we're going to do the same thing for this one. Shift F9 or right click, Easy Ease In. Now let's play back. So we have, let's unhide this layer. Now they're animating at the same time. So what we need to do is we need to stagger the animation. So let's move the second one over. Cool. So we have 1, 2, and then the third one. And for the third one, instead of scaling it down, we're going to do a transition wipe. So let me show you, amigos. Let's hide these first two so it's easier to work with. And let's go to Effect, Transition. Let's see, Transition all the way down here. It's called Linear Wipe. And when you go down to, let's say, 180, I believe. Let's move it. Perfect. So we can even tilt it. Let's move the completion up. And hit U on the keyboard. So we're going to start it here. And let's add a keyframe. Hit U on the keyboard so we can see the keyframe. Let's move forward, maybe about here. And then let's bring down the completion all the way down. Perfect. Now, the only thing is it's a hard edge, and we don't want to have it hard edge. Actually, amigos, we did the wrong thing. We did it the opposite way. So let's go back. Let's go this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to time reverse, right click, and go to Keyframe Assistant, time reverse. There you go. Perfect. And then this one, let's go down. And then this one, let's see. Perfect. So it's going to animate down. Now it's a hard edge, and like I said, we want to feather it. So let's feather it. Let's put a value of about 150 pixels. That's good enough. Perfect. Let's unhide the other layers and let's see how these layers animate. Perfect. Now what we want to do is we're going to grab these 3 brushes and go to layer, pre-comp, and we're going to pre-comp these layers. And let's call this spray can pre-comp. Hit OK. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the track matte function to reveal our logo. Now, amigos, to use the track matte, some of you guys I've read on YouTube, you can't find the little icon to show the track matte. So let me show you right now. So this first icon, if you click on it, you're going to have your motion blur adjustment layer and to make these layers 3D. Now, the one in the middle, the center one, is your track matte and your blending mode. And then the last one is the in and out points, but I don't really use it at all. So if you guys don't see track matte, is most likely because this is turned off. So turn it on and you have your track matte. Now simply what we're going to do is we're going to use the track matte and go to your logo layer and then choose alpha matte. And if we play it back, it's going to reveal our logo. And we zoom in, you can see that it's basically the spray can. You can see the details of the spray can. Now what we're going to do is make a copy of our matte, of our spray can matte, and bring it down, and we're going to reveal it, show it. So at the same time that our logo is animating, spraying on, we're going to also show the paint. So it's a little, to make it more interesting, we're going to use that creative licensing, creative license to just show both the logo and the spray can. Now let's add our background. I have this pretty cool background. We're going to add it down here. And what we're going to do is we have this cool grunge layer that we can add as well. And what I did was I scaled it down a little bit. And to create that cool look, I went into Effect, Color Correction Levels. And then I made a high contrast. And then simply I used the blending mode. I believe it was Color Dodge. Or Classic Color Dodge, either one. Yeah, Classic Color Dodge. To create this cool look. And almost there. So now when we have that, we can't see the spray can, so we can add a color. So go to our spray can layer, this one. And you can go to Effect, Generate. You can put a fill on it, or you can make it. You can change the color, for example. Or what I did was instead of the fill, I put Effect, Generate, Gradient, Ramp, and I made this a blue color. And I switch it to Radial. And once you switch to Radial Ramp, you have your start point here, and you have your end point here. We have it. Very nice. And then the last thing is very subtle. We're going to make this paint drip seem like it's dripping down. And an easy way and quick way to do that is to use a liquify. So go to your spray can layer, go to Effect, Distort, Liquify, which is the same plugin as a liquify in Photoshop. And what we're going to do is let's go to their tool options. We can lower down the size of the brush. And simply, let's see, it goes down, it sprays on. So about here, we're going to add a keyframe for the distortion mesh. Hit U so we can see the keyframe. Let's go over to 3 seconds long, up to 3 seconds. Let's zoom in, and all we're going to do is just paint it, liquify it. We can do the same thing for this one. Let's zoom out. Let's play it back. Nice. And you can see you can see that it's animating the paint drip is animating. We could have done this with perhaps with a puppet tool, but Liquify is really cool to give it that kind of paint drip effect coming down. It's very subtle. You don't have to be, sometimes less is more, amigos. You don't have to be very detailed or go overboard with some of these effects. And the last thing is to add the sound effect, because really what makes a lot of these motion graphics pop and make it really believable is sound effects. Sound effects go a long way. It really helps sell your graphics. So let's bring in the spray can sound effect. Let's bring it in. Now if you hit LL on the keyboard, you're gonna see the waveform, and let's move it over. Let's move it over here. Let's see it. Now it's kind of loud. And what we can do is we can lower down the audio levels, hit LL again, and we can trim it about right here. Let's trim it. Perfect. And that's it. That's the tutorial, amigos. So you learn how to use Photoshop brushes to help create a matte that you can use to animate inside of After Effects, and that matte will reveal your logo, which you can also use to reveal text or any other elements that you want to reveal. Very easy, and we use sound effects for the first time. Amigos, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to join the School of Motion Graphics. I'll make the brushes and this tutorial available for you to download. And amigos, always stay creative. Let it flow like agua from an agua. Till next time.